Good evening, and thank you for joining us for another session of Inmates for Change. My name is Jones. I'm the founder, CEO of the 501c3 not-for-profit Inmates for Change. Our motto is breaking the bondage of destructive thinking. We offer reentry services for individuals who are coming home from incarceration and those who are in the community who are finding it real hard to reintegrate successfully back into community, family, corporate America, and society. Inmates for Change also offers a rehabilitative education initiative which is entitled Path to Purpose, where we offer a 6 to 12 week curriculum in a classroom environment which introduces critical thinking, interpersonal interaction, self-image, relationships, teamwork, behavior modification, spiritual connectedness, God consciousness, and we also have a linkage for vocational training. Those of you tonight who would like to join our conversation, we can be reached at 312-738-1060. But let me just take a moment right now and give you an idea of how to reach us at Inmates for Change. We're located on the email address at inmatesforchange@gmail.com. Those of you who would like to see our website, we're at wix.com, inmatesforchange.org. And our phone number to the office, which is open from Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 3 p.m., Monday through Friday, is 773-746-3075. Now, I did that in an inverted order to get your attention. I've got all kind of tricks up my sleeve, so stick with me. Tonight's segment is titled, Who or What Do I Owe? Now, this is coming along the lines of individuals who are coming home from incarceration, or those of us who are still in the community, and we've got this felony conviction or felony convictions following us and are hampering our efforts to become gainfully employed, successfully reintegrated back into family, community, and corporate America. So let's get started with what or who do I owe? Let's start first with family. Now, you know, family is a very, very large part of our being. And being that it's a large part of our being, it consumes a lot of space inside of our heads and our hearts, as well as our lives. So one of the first people of family that I would owe something to as a returning citizen and as a convicted felon is Mama. Mama has stood by me time and time again as I was on this self-destructive path and wasn't trying to hear anything along the lines of what I could be doing better. I thought I was slicker, I thought I was smarter, and I knew they didn't know nothing about what they were talking about. So I owe Mama the legacy of becoming what she knew I could be. When I was a very young boy, I remember personally, now this is me personally, she said, "You have the intellect to be a doctor, but all you want to be is a gangbanger? What a waste." And for me, in my 13-year-old mind at that time, I could not conceive what she was talking about because I thought what I was doing was the thing. And little did I know, what I thought was going on really wasn't what was going on. So for tonight, with who or what do I owe, this is dedicated to everyone who has come home or been in the community and they've got a criminal record behind them. We owe everybody. We have to understand that because we weren't born to be criminal or labeled as convicted felons. We were not born that way. We are truly kings and queens, but until we come into the revelation of the mindset that brings us into the awareness so that we can exercise that type of lifestyle and behavior and thinking pattern, we will be stuck in the bondage of destructive thinking. So I owe Mama because Mama, being who she was for me and all of this to me, is probably no longer here now. And now I need to carry on the legacy because I've seen what my lifestyle added up to. There's a thing that we say along the lines of therapy and NAACA, and that is your best thinking is what got you here. And it takes a mind to understand that kind of thing. We brush it off as some kind of tagline or some kind of colloquialism or that kind of thing, and it's not that. It's your best thinking is what got you here. Mine included. I am a 4-time convicted felon. I've been arrested 53 times since my 21st birthday. I've been in rehab 6 times. I didn't go to prison until I was 53 years old. So what we're talking about here tonight is what or who do I owe? And I know I owe somebody because it doesn't feel right for me to try to sit around and act like I don't owe anyone anything and they should be giving me something because I'm the one that's just coming home. Well, why are you just coming home? I'm coming home because I wasn't listening to what anyone was saying or trying to help or do for me along the way. And that end case is the point that I'm making, that I owe, and I need to start fixing my mind around it. Looking at my siblings, what could I owe my siblings, my sisters, my brothers? What could I owe them? And let me tell you, a lot of us have a seriously dysfunctional family relationship with our siblings and our extended family as far as the aunts and uncles are going, you know. And we use that as part of why we're doing what we're doing to justify the means and the activities that we find ourselves doing. But we also know deep down inside we still love our people, man. We love them. And what can I do to show my little younger brother or my younger sister that following along in my path from where I was at the time when I was not a good choice or a good career path? And I need to re-examine the situation and know that I need to offer my siblings, I owe them some leadership. I also need to offer them some compassionate support. Because of the dysfunction being as deep as it is in the house, we have a tendency we've removed the dinner table from the home, so we're not as cohesive a unit as we used to be back in the day when my era was coming through. You know, you get a chance to sit at the dinner table and everyone will get a chance to find out what the other one was doing with their day, how their week is going, what expectations they had, and what responsibilities they were going to be expected to perform. And now we don't have that. We've got this separate thing, what we call closed doors inside the home. And in the home, that develops a isolating and separating type of mindset that an individual feels that, well, doesn't nobody care, and since don't nobody care, then whatever I do is going to be based on me feeling that what I'm doing is what I want to do. And again, my best thinking is what gets me locked up again. So I need to understand, excuse me, that I owe something to my family. They're first. I owe something to mama, the legacy, or let her get a chance to see me bloom into my fullest potential now while she's still on planet Earth with me. I can change this thing. I can turn it around. And to be honest with you personally, I'm living proof that God is stronger than anything I was trying to do ever. So now I know, and things have changed in my life. So my siblings, who I was at odds with, especially my female member of my family, my sister, she was always pushing me, but I felt that she was trying me. And this kind of thing is the kind of stuff that we're speaking about right now. Who do I owe? I owe my sister the love and compassion and companionship that she knows she justly deserves because she's a queen. She is a queen, whether I have recognized it by now or not. I've got a caller coming in on the line. And caller, please, if you don't mind, tell me who you are and what your contribution is.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jones. This is Ray.
Hey, Ray, thanks for checking in. How can I help?
Everything you said about moms is correct. But these young boys today, the way they treat their moms, their mothers, it's a shame. It's shameful. And they don't understand that they only have one mom. And that if you don't respect her now, if she dies, you know, how are you going to feel? So they'll never say nothing about your mom. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I love my mom, and you know, I didn't talk to her for a few years, and then I got to talking to her, and I loved her ever since. But these young boys don't know about love. All they want to do is go out. You know what? If one of these young boys go out there and get shot, who do you think's going to make sure that he gets a good funeral and a burial? The mother.
Yeah, that's what Mama
And
does.
yet,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, the mother does everything for them. You know, and it's a shame the way, boy, you go on the streets and these young boys be talking crazy to their moms. Man, when you and I were growing up, and our dad, all you had to do was look at us, and that was enough for us.
That's it.
These young boys today have no respect for anybody. Just like they said, they give more respect to a guy coming out of prison than a guy graduating from college.
And let me say this to you, Ray. On that's my next bullet point that I'm coming up about community and how it affects what we're doing inside the culture. So, Ray, first of all, I appreciate you calling. That was a great contribution that you gave us and bringing it up into my next seg point, and that is this. The community. What do I owe my community? You know, a lot of us, and me myself, came from a low-income area, projects, crime, drugs, gangs, all of the whole nine that it takes to make a place something unsatisfactory type of appealing for your eye. And the community, what do I owe as a returning citizen? What do I owe as an individual with a background? What do I owe as a community member? First, I owe my community some pride. Ray, you mentioned a point earlier that when we were coming up, now you know I'm over 60 years old, so we're talking back 1,000 years ago, easy. But when we came up, we took pride in our community. We had contests amongst the kids, and sometimes the mothers would get involved in that kind of thing, of who would have the best cleaned floor. The building I lived in had 16 floors with 10 apartments on each floor. We had clean alleys. We had to clean up around the areas so that our building would be in competition with the next neighboring building, and we took pride in the community. Now, the thing that we have with our youth today, especially our boys and growing our girls and women, is that no one is standing in front of them. This is the cultural strengthening that we don't seem to exhibit along the lines of our neighbor and our friends in the community. The cultural strengthening, you know, we don't seem to understand that we as male population are the chief architects and the purveyors of strength, unity, and sustenance for the community as well as for our families. Back in my day, even the wine head could tell you if he caught you playing hooky, get your little butt back in school, boy. Don't end up like me. Get in that classroom. I know who your mama is. And when he would say that kind of word to me or us at that age, 9, 10 years old, trying to shoot hooky, all we knew was that got to be somebody my mama know. I can't take a chance on them telling my mama that I'm playing hooky. And we ran our little selves right back into the classroom and we stayed in there. And inside the classroom, we strive to be the best in the class. This, again, is an era that seems to be bygone, but only in the lower income community, and I'm sad to say, seemingly in my black community. I've gone to other areas. I've gone around the city into the collar counties and the suburbs, and I've seen a cohesive effort made by the mothers and the fathers and the parents as well as the adults and the surrounding store merchants and that kind of thing to protect the village in those surrounding collar counties. Why don't we have it here in our own communities? It seems that we are at a point in our mindset that we're waiting for this big hand of benevolence to come and make it all right for us, and we don't have to do anything about it but stand on the sidelines and wait. Well, you will be there. My wife has a saying that when your hand is out like this, anybody can put anything in it. So we have to develop a I owe it type of mindset to the community, to our family. We have a situation in our communities where selling drugs seems to be the new career choice of our young, and when we look at them about what it is that we're trying to accomplish and tell them that, hey man, selling dope is not the answer to what you're trying to accomplish, and their response to us is, well, I have to eat, man. Well, how can you in good conscience lay down or sit at a table eating knowing that you're selling poison to an individual who looks just like you in the community that you live in? Yeah, it's a lot deeper than just that little, well, I got to eat. Or if they're going to buy it, they're going to buy it from somebody. Well, yeah, if that's true, why you? Why do you need to be the one they buy it from? Why won't you do what you know you need to be doing as opposed to what you feel that you want to do? And thinking that that fast money is the easy way out. You can see that how it happens is that one of three things. It destroys dreams, it destroys individuals, it destroys communities. You can also see that the life of that is very short-lived. It's not a long lifespan. Thirdly, behind that, you've got incarceration for an X amount of years. There's a Class X felony that goes with a certain amount of drugs and activity and your record that you will start accumulating more time than you thought it would be worth. Trust me, I've been arrested 53 times since my 21st birthday. So I know I'm a 4-time convicted felon. Probably the next time, if ever, I'm not going to be doing it, but if it ever happens that I am forced or by my own hand put into a position where I have to stand in front of the judge again, I'm probably facing 30 to life, you know, and now I want to start listening. Now I want to start trying to pay back something. And this is the part that we're talking about when we're out here. I've got this high-risk lifestyle of gang activity, thinking that because my family, my nuclear family, is so dysfunctional that doesn't no one in the family care, that it's okay for me to be going out here and doing all kind of crazy stuff in the street because everybody else is doing all kind of crazy stuff in the street. This is a call to the men in the community who are still here, whether you've got a background or not. We need to start taking control of our community and get our boys and our young girls back in line with what we know is the right way to raise a family, conduct a community, and keep our culture intact. That's just it. Sitting around, or 2 or 3 of us talking about it at the bus stop or around some kind of table somewhere, we need more than that. We need the commitment. We need more than just talk. We need the passion that has to be a dedicated effort to start making some significant change one day at a time, one mind at a time. Each one meet one. Each one greet one. Each one teach one. If you'd like to join the conversation, we're at 312-738-1060. Moving along, what do I owe my employer? You know, we've got a real bad habit as far as convicted felons and individuals with criminal backgrounds in our record or coming off the streets from after a long term of serving in the streets or doing the lifestyle and that kind of thing, that we lack aspiration. You know, we don't seem to want to do anything but just get a job. I just want to get a job. But when we get this job, sometimes we end up not having any other type of motivation to come to the job but to steal something, you know, or start trying to hit on one of my female coworkers or the opposite sex coworker. We owe our employers or prospective employers, we owe them a sense of commitment. We have to start finding a way to start thinking more about what does it take to elevate myself inside of the company that just hired me on. And behind that, I have to develop a work ethic. Because if I don't have a work ethic, then why am I coming to a place that they call work? This is something we need to be thinking about, you know, and those of us who are out here, keep in mind, Inmates for Change and the Path to Purpose Rehabilitative Education curriculum is dedicated to introducing these skill sets to our participants. Those of you who would like to contact us by phone, we can be reached at 773-746-3075 between 9:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Do yourself a favor and take a look at our website at wix.com/inmatesforchange.org. And those of you who would like to contact us through email, we're at inmatesforchange@gmail.com. We look at these the situation with the employer. What or who do I owe? I owe my employer some integrity. You know, I've got to be on time. Let me even show up early. Why don't I know that I am expected to perform a certain amount of tasks or duties along a structured timeline and produce X amount of quality or quantity of work that generates the business so the company can stay vibrant and I can stay gainfully employed. We have this slave master kind of mentality in some cases where we come into places and man, I get here talking about how blessed I was to get the job, and then when I get the job, I'm trying to do everything else but the job. This is a sad situation all around, but something must be done for it if we start taking some ownership about who or what do I owe. I'm speaking to the returning citizen. I'm speaking to the college graduate. I'm speaking to the bum in the street. I'm speaking to the business owner. I'm speaking to the executive or captain of industry. Who or what do I owe? Those of you who are out there who are doing something and we're not getting a lot of notoriety about it and that kind of thing, that's fine, that's great. God is watching. He's knowing that what you're doing and how your heart is put into it. And I'm going to say to you, keep it going. Keep it going, because I hope in future shows I get a chance to introduce some individuals who have gone from the jail cell to the boardroom, or they've gone from the playground to the prison yard and then back out and they've turned their lives around. So coming up in some shows, I hope to be able to express, or at least showcase and highlight some individuals who have completely turned their lives around because they knew who they owed. They knew what they owed. And now they're doing something about it. What do I owe my significant other? You know, the one who's been hanging in there with me through all of these 53 arrests or this cycle of recidivism, or I can't keep a job or hold a job. I get drunk every weekend and then I'm dumb enough to start fighting and want to start beating on her for her loving support. Who do I owe? I owe my significant other some appreciation. I know that if I were me, I'd be done with me. This much I know. I know. I say a lot to my clients when we're doing the workshops and the seminars. How many of you would marry you? And no one, believe it, no one raises their hand and say, I would marry me right now. And this is the stuff that we start to work on. Why would you not marry you? Is it a self-love thing? Or is it a situational thing? As a condition that you're in? What is it that you feel in your mind that you're not worthy of marrying yourself? With our significant other, we need to be transparent. That means we need to tell the truth all the time and the whole truth at that. If I'm not doing anything covert, undercover, or with an ulterior motive, then I shouldn't have any problem relating in full format a transparency of my day or my activities. It's just that simple. It ain't nothing hard about this stuff. Nothing is hard about this stuff. But am I willing to do it? Who or what do I owe? I owe loyalty to my significant other. We've got a thing going on in the community for some weird reason. Baby mama syndrome, where we got guys thinking that they can have babies by different women all across the city or whoever comes into their path or their wake or their orbit, and they don't need to be responsible for them. And they're thinking that having 5 kids by 8 different women is a badge of manhood. No, nothing could be further from the truth. Matter of fact, you got all these kids all over the city and you ain't helping none of them, and you locked up, or you just getting home and you haven't seen your kids in 5 or 6 years. What do you think you owe? What do you think you owe? We come home looking for somebody to give us something instead of us stepping up to, let me try to pay out the debt that I already owe. You know what we call burning your bridges behind you? I put self last on this list. I owe myself honesty. I owe myself honesty because if I keep lying to me, then I'm going to believe all the lies. But I know deep, deep, deep inside me that I'm not being forthcoming. I owe myself preparation for prosperity and success. And I got to know that this stuff does not happen overnight. I cannot get to where I'm trying to go overnight. I can decide to get to where I'm trying to go overnight. But it's going to take some work to get to where I'm going. And I've got to be willing to put that in through some honest preparation and looking for some success. So with that, that brings me to the close of what I had to offer for today. Who or what do I owe? I want to tell you all this. My name is Jones. I'm the founder CEO of the 501c3 not-for-profit Inmates for Change. Our motto is breaking the bondage of destructive thinking. And I would like to tell you, thank you so much for tuning in, and those of you who got a chance to call in. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.